Well, this is either going to be a flaming hot take or a very chilly one, but we need to talk about the absolute buffoonery going on right now. Built versus bought is getting out of hand. This has gradually evolved into a civil war. It used to be a fun rivalry, but now the comment sections look like literal war zones, and every local car meet just feels like a high tension political standoff. And both sides are guilty of it. Bot guys, you spend mind numbing amounts of money for pretty average builds just to flex on a guy that's building and try to act like you know more about the car than they do. Memorizing a shiny dealership brochure and knowing what monthly payment you make does not make you a chief automotive engineer. Built guys, which I know is my general following, we are spending way too much money and time into cars. You spend 20 years just to be able to drive it, and then 3 paychecks a month and every minute of breath on your build just to still have it in your garage. It is basically becoming a very, very, very expensive paperweight that just leaks oil on concrete and smells like old gas and despair sitting in your garage. Chapter 1, Civil War. It feels like there used to be a mutual respect between the bot and build crowds. The bot guys were like, yeah, I don't know much about wrenching, but I can afford a fast car and I respect the people who build their cars. On the other hand, the build guys respected someone buying their dream car outright off the lot, but chose to build their own car and make it unique. And both nations lived in harmony. But then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Someone overstepped, and now unfortunately, I have to be the avatar. But seriously, people just started getting toxic, which is exactly what the internet does to people nowadays. Both sides started throwing poo-poo caca. And now we're in the middle of the battlefield. The bot guys started buying up platforms just to gatekeep them in their garages collectibles, and the build guys started going after them for it, and the TNT was officially ignited. I mean, I am surprised some of you don't show up to car meets in just riot armor, just aggressively revving at each other while holding the energy drinks, ready to defend that plastic bumper with your life. People get so extreme, and if you're not on their side, it can be a nerve-wracking situation. And I am on a side possibly, maybe, but you're gonna have to stick around to find out which side I'm on. Chapter 2, Custom Dealership Flexer. How many brain cells does it take to buy a Hellcat? Well, not many. You literally can just sign a piece of paper that says you owe the bank your soul for the next 84 months. And bot guys, if you're listening to this, please stop walking around with factory packages into car meets and acting like you engineered the car yourself. Do you know how dumb that makes a person look? Bragging that your car is 1 out of 500 because it has specific colored floor mats? That does not make you a builder. And if you're a bot type of guy that doesn't do this, thank you very much and go tell your friends to stop. I mean, how could you possibly be proud of, oh bro, I got some custom upgraded fenders and the wheel package with upgraded spoiler from the dealership for a 200% markup, and they somehow think that's built? Yo dude, that's super cool, man. Now you're broke and dumb, and I would rather just be one of the two. Chapter 3, Jack Stand Kings. Okay, well, some of you are gonna go out to get me. But listen, you just gotta listen. We have to know when to stop. There has to be a point to stop. We can't be sticking 10 to 20 years into a car and hundreds and thousands of dollars into a car and still not have it on the road. If your project car has been sitting so long that spiders have claimed your intake manifold in their ancestral home, we need to have a serious intervention here. I do understand great builds take time and money. Building a car can take 1 to 5 years. It will take up to 5 to 50K based on what you want, but there has to be a balance. You cannot keep telling yourself, it will be running next weekend for 5 years straight. This might be a crazy take, but eventually, don't you want to drive that car? I do realize you only have so many hours in a day. With a full-time job, other obligations like pets, kids, family, daily duties that you just might not have time for cars. But that's why we have to be realistic and make a plan for best optimization. I think enjoying your car is important, and some people get sad and depressed into a project that they don't have time for it. The burnout is real when you bite off more than you can chew. And I'm not saying this to condemn anyone. I'm just saying this to be helpful for people and be more self-aware. Chapter 4, Shifting the Goalposts. So build guys, here's another issue we need to talk about. We need to stop purposely shifting goalposts on people because someone's built is probably not the same as another. It's getting ridiculous. For instance, oh, you bought a crate engine? Not built? Oh, you didn't machine your own block with raw aluminum in your living room? Not a real builder. No. We cannot do that. You're just going to push away an enthusiast from cars. There are different levels of built, and that is perfectly okay. Slapping a turbo kit or doing cam swap in your driveway is wrenching. Anything is wrenching. Let the new guys in, learn the basics before they demand their fabricate on custom exhaust from scratch. Don't be that guy that ruins the car community. You're not higher and mighty because you did something pretty nice, okay? Someone is not lower than you just because they did simpler mods. And just because they're not at your level of car does not mean they will never be. Chapter 5, expensive versus expensive. Let's just be all really honest with each other as a group. Nobody's coming out of this financially alive. So either you want to pay for high interest rates and monthly payments, or overpriced parts and ungodly amounts of tax and shipping, not to mention the overnight shipping fees, because you desperately want that one specific bolt by Saturday morning. I guess choose your poison. They both kill the same. One drains your bank account on the 15th every month, and the other one randomly drains your bank account at odd hours of the night. Chapter 6, the secret weapon of bought. Now, here's where I could say that the built crowd might get a little jealous. Well, the built guys are swearing at a stripped bolt on a night of work. The bought guys are just going around canyons with AC blasting full factory warranty. They hit that push to start button, no weird ticking noises happen, and no vacuum leaks, and they just drive. And before any of you buffoons say, oh, I like losing sleep and working until 4 a.m. and then it still doesn't work. Alright, buddy. Keep telling yourself that. Chapter 7, the sweet spot. Now, if you're a guy in the middle that likes to dibble dabble and get a little nice and sporty AWD, do some minor mods and then enjoy that, that's perfectly fine. It's the ultimate life hack, I would say. You get the traction of daily, you just get, you'd get sustainability, and that's where it is. However, do not tell me that you took a stock Chevy Spark and
scoot in fourth gear before my red line. I hit 135.
Oh, really?
Before my red line, I was scooting. Just by putting aftermarket oil filter on it, high performance. Put my Pennzoil up in there, synthetic, and then I dropped in 1/3 of jet fuel in my tank.
But seriously, there is a nice obtainable middle ground here, and if you just do a good cam on it, maybe do some tires, maybe an intake, and just have fun with your car, that OEM Plus life is honestly kind of where it is. Chapter 8, why are you actually doing this? So what is your why? So do you do this for some enjoyment? Which I think is the best case if you can find enjoyment out of it. But some of it do it for likes on Insta, and then that gets them up in the morning. And I guess you do you, man. But honestly, if you're building a car just to flex on strangers on the internet and don't even really care about you, you're playing a losing game here. I love the experience and the journey, and some people just don't. Some people like going fast, some people don't. Just figure out your actual reason, and that's where it can be a lot of fun. Chapter 9, the only metric that matters. It's not how much you paid the dealership, and it's not how much blood you left on the garage floor. It's miles per gallon for me. It's a little bit of reliability, and it's the ability to turn that key and actually enjoy the machine for what you paid for. If you're not looking back at it when you walk away in a parking lot, you probably did it wrong, plain and simple. Chapter 10, getting ready for war. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time. This is that time. Commander Torque ready for duty. Better get ready for war, because I'm on the side of built over bought. And at the end of the day, knowing every nut and bolt of your machine, pouring your own sweat into that engine block and building it your way just got me feeling a little bit better. Bought guys, you better learn how to change oil. I'll see you in the next one on Torque Savvy. Peace.